don't know what's inside of you.
Here are the top 10 most disgusting things people found in fast food, allegedly. Some unlucky people had to find out the hard way they didn't get exactly what they ordered.
People do crazy things in ads, like eat at Arby's.
Like a headless chicken.
That is nasty.
Okay, eating restaurant fried chicken can sometimes be tricky. Because of the batter and the frying process, it can be difficult to know exactly what you're getting. In the year 2000, a woman was about to prove this point after a trip to her local McDonald's. Catherine Ortega, a resident from Virginia, ordered a box of now discontinued wings to feed her son, but was taken aback when a full, deep-fried chicken head came out of the box. Despite the fried crust covering the wing, she could clearly see a beak and a pair of eyes, which made her nauseous right away. Obviously, she had to contact the McDonald's location to let them know about the head.
How intelligent do you have to be to take a food order?
But all they did was offer either a refund or a box of free wings. Instead of accepting the offer, Ortega got a lawyer and contacted the U.S. Department of Agriculture to investigate the case. When no real conclusion came out of it, speculations began going around about how this was all just a hoax, or that it was simply an employee playing a gross prank.
Oh, behave.
No matter what truly happened, we can't deny that it was still pretty disgusting. Which came first, chicken or rat?
Just this giant dead rat!
The world of fried chicken can truly be a wonder. But when a woman from Langhorne, Pennsylvania bit into her Chick-fil-A sandwich, she definitely wasn't expecting to stumble into anything amiss. Ellen Manfaludi and her coworker were going for lunch and they decided to treat themselves to some Chick-fil-A. All was good until Manfaludi felt something funny on the bottom of the bun after biting into her sandwich. Thinking the workers had simply burned her bun, she turned it over to see the damage. As she flipped the sandwich over, she made the gruesome discovery.
Dad?
There was a dead rodent baked into the bun. Understandably, she started screaming and basically lost her mind as she saw whiskers and a tail just coming out of what would have been her next bite. The woman later had to go to the hospital due to nausea and claimed she had a really hard time eating for weeks after the incident. Following her traumatic experience, laboratory tests confirmed the presence of a rodent, and Manfaludi sued Chick-fil-A for more than $50,000. To this day, the allegations are being investigated.
Oh, come on!
Unwanted extra topping.
God, I wish we had a Pizza Hut in South Park.
If you think pineapples on pizza are disgusting, buckle up, because this next finding is about to top your list of the most outrageous toppings ever. Back in 2011, Ken Villacierja of Ballston Lake, New York, ordered a large supreme pizza from the Clifton Park Pizza Hut. Since he couldn't finish it all, and as any true pizza lover knows, leftover pizza is just as good.
Okay, I'll just put it in the fridge. It's even better the next day.
He decided to put it away in the fridge for later. As the next day rolled around, Ken went for a cold slice of pizza, and when he took a bite, it was not what he was expecting. There, swirling around in his mouth, was something unconventionally chewy, something that felt almost plastic. That plasticky feeling came from a bloody blue Band-Aid that had been baked right into the crust. We all wish we could get extra toppings on our pizza free of charge, but this is pushing it a little. As soon as he realized what he was actually chewing, Villacierja sealed the evidence in a plastic bag to show it to the company.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, Taco Bell.
Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
That's genius.
He also asked for his blood work tests to be reimbursed, but Pizza Hut did not want to cooperate. The chain insisted the bandage style and dough type were not consistent with Pizza Hut protocol. Sending chilies down your spine.
I'm serious about this stuff.
This particular story has got to be one of the most notorious of them all. Too bad it was all just a hoax, though. Indeed, the famous story about a woman in San Jose named Ana Ayala who found a severed human finger in her bowl of Wendy's chili was all made up. After making a scene and taking the chain to court, Ana was all set to receive a pretty huge sum.
You already ate the gut bomb, though.
Yeah, but I can't help it that I didn't figure it out till I'd swallowed it all.
Wendy's began suffering a lot of damages and loss of revenue, only something didn't add up. No Wendy's employees or ingredients suppliers had reported finger injuries or had a missing fingertip. This is when the truth came out. She had planted the finger in there herself. By doing so, she was hoping to make some bank, but instead she was charged with attempted grand theft and sent to prison for 4 years. While, yes, thank goodness no one actually found a finger in their chili, it still begs one question. Where the heck did she find the finger in the first place? Well, as it turns out, the finger belonged to her husband's friend who had lost his in an industrial accident.
I lost my hand!
The jig was up, and it is still known today as one of the biggest fast food con attempts. No need to point fingers.
Oh, damn it, Johnny, you know I love my big beef and cheddar.
Yes, the finger in Wendy's chili was a hoax, but the one found in an Arby's sandwich was very real. In fact, this incident happened more than once, which is a little bit concerning. One of the most notable times, however, was in Ohio in 2005, when a piece of human flesh, with fingerprints still attached, was allegedly found on an Arby's chicken sandwich. David Scheiding was eating at an Arby's in Tip City and quickly realized he was chewing on human skin. Apparently, a manager had sliced his thumb while shredding lettuce and just forgot to throw it away. Even though the action was not intentional, it was still traumatizing for the victim, who ended up filing a $50,000 lawsuit for emotional damages.
And he did not suffer when his moped hit the side of that Arby's.
So sad.
A couple of years later, in Michigan, it was a teenage customer who was met with a bloody chunk of a human finger inside his roast beef sandwich. The incident was deemed an isolated and unfortunate accident, as the employee was simply trying to cover up after a meat slicing incident. Thankfully for Arby's, no charges were filed by the customers, and all food production was stopped until the restaurant had been thoroughly cleaned and sanitized. Restaurants like TGI Fridays and Cole's Frozen Custard both had similar finger-related incidents.
We got a bleeder!
And these probably won't be the last either. Burgers and needles.
I declare this extreme burger the winner.
Homer, you've created a Whopper!
What could be the scariest thing you could find in your burger? Really think about it. Aside from anything human, something that could cut, slice, or pierce you is probably a close second. Well, at Burger King in Hawaii in 2010, that did happen to a veteran who found himself in the ER after eating a triple stacker burger from Burger King. The man claimed that as he was eating the burger, something pierced his tongue and caused it to bleed. He didn't really think much of it at first, at least not until he had to be hospitalized and put on bed rest for a week after he found out his intestine had been pierced as well. He went to the doctor due to severe stomach pain and was told that either a needle or a wire had caused some serious damage.
Wow, thanks for nothing, Dr. Harris.
You're welcome.
Army Staff Sergeant Clark Bartholomew filed a federal lawsuit for his physical injuries, but also for anxiety, fear, loss of sleep, extreme distress, and lost wages. The suit also noted that this wasn't the first time foreign objects like needles had been found in Burger King's hamburgers. In 2001, Angelina Cruz found herself in a similar situation when she bit into a quick sausage and egg breakfast sandwich in Queens and felt something hard inside her cheek.
You don't look too good.
I don't feel so good.
I told you to use your spit bucket.
Oh, my tummy hurts.
Lodged in the sandwich was a needle tip from a syringe. Terrified to have contracted a disease, she took Burger King to court for $11 million. Extra crunchy fries.
Feel my fries!
It's no secret that McDonald's around the world are different from the ones in the USA. After all, cuisine differs from one country to the other. But even so, teeth should not be on any menu. Back in 2014, in a McDonald's location in Osaka, Japan, a complaint was made regarding a certain human tooth found in an order of fries. So much for the world's most famous French fries.
Get you one of those Happy Meals? You got a Happy Meal? Can we get a Happy Meal? Will somebody get the kid a Happy Meal?
McDonald's had the hard hard object tested, and scarily enough, it tested positive as a human tooth. On the plus side, the tooth was later proved to have not been cooked. We're not sure how this makes it less disgusting, but hey, it's a small win. While this would be enough to turn anyone away from eating McDonald's for the rest of their lives, it's not even the worst part yet. It wasn't the first time an undesirable object was discovered in McD's food in Japan. Indeed, the chain had experienced some similar trouble around the same time throughout several locations. Customers had reported finding plastic in a child's ice cream, as well as a piece of vinyl in a chicken nugget.
Nice parenting. Hey, thanks. Are you my therapist? Take a walk.
Not a very fortuitous time for McDonald's Japan, that's for sure. The company's revenues drastically dropped, and the chain struggled for a bit, but it eventually bounced back. Eat Subway, eat rodents.
How many of these did you order?
5.
5 footlongs.
It was a good deal.
Subway was also responsible for a lot of nausea and nightmares following a dead mouse found in a customer's sub back in 2015. Matt Jones was peacefully enjoying his sub in Lincoln City, Oregon, when one of his coworkers opened up his Italian sub to see what was inside. There, between the spinach and the cheese, laid a very real and very dead mouse. A big surprise, to say the least. The Subway worker had scraped the last shreds of spinach from the container and sprinkled them on the sub, which was believed to be where the little rodent had set up camp.
It worked for Jared, and that boy was large.
After a lot of gasps and shock, Jones snapped a picture and went to the manager to complain. A Subway spokesperson responded with, "As soon as the customer alerted the owner about what happened, they were immediately given a full refund and an investigation was launched. To be cautious, all of the products in the sandwich unit were disposed of, and a thorough cleaning took place in which the health department gave the restaurant a clean bill of health."
I'm totally screwed. Like those poor guys who had to come up with a new ad campaign for Subway.
Since then, there haven't been any other complaints from that Subway location, but it still doesn't mean that it's been forgotten. Nachos at your fingertips.
I'm about to eat nachos! It's the greatest moment of my life!
There's nothing better than nachos when you're in the mood for something crunchy. And what better place to get some than Taco Bell? In 2015, Kaylin Rowland, a woman from Florida, was with her boyfriend when she allegedly found something disturbing in her order of triple-layer nachos. She was expecting nothing more than a bunch of chips, beans, nacho cheese, and some red sauce. But instead, she was greeted with a surprise, unwanted ingredient, a full-length acrylic French tip fingernail. Even though the sheer idea of finding a fake nail in your food is sickening enough, the worst part is that Kaylin didn't notice it until she got to the bottom of her order.
That's just nasty.
She was so disgusted, she immediately became physically ill. Understandably, Kaylin shared her experience online, contacted Taco Bell, and even the local news outlets.
You want some nachos?
I'm actually okay.
What did Taco Bell have to say about all this? Well, it offered them $40 in Taco Bell gift cards, which they refused, and later replied they would probably never eat at a Taco Bell ever again, or at least not at this location. The bullet to my hot dog.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Everybody knows that a trip to Costco is not complete without stopping by the food court. Whether you fancy a slice of pizza, a hot dog, or a good old ice cream cone, you simply have to get something. Just be careful what you bite into, as a woman from California had to find out the hard way.
Damn!
I have not had a hot dog in so long.
In 2004, Olivia Chains was shopping at Costco in Irvine when she suddenly felt peckish. And what better way to satisfy your craving than by getting a cheap and delicious hot dog? After nicely dressing up her hot dog, she began her feast, and all was well until she felt something hard in her teeth. To her surprise, she pulled out a live 9mm bullet right from the sausage. Sure, she was shocked, but she was even more shocked when she had to be taken to the hospital for severe abdominal pains. It turns out she had swallowed another live round without even realizing it. When the news broke, Costco workers took it upon themselves to check all of the merchandise from the food court, but didn't find anything out of the ordinary. The hot dogs supposedly go through a thorough screening process and even pass through a metal detector before they're shipped from the factory, making it pretty hard for not one, but two bullets to sneak their way in. But you know what they say, the proof is in the hot dog.
There you go, sir. And have a tune, wiener dude. Alrighty.
Check out more great videos. Just tap or click. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell.